Good morning, valued investors. We welcome you to another edition of Lead Capital Equities Market Review. We thank you for your loyalty and your continued patronage about our product and services. We'll be looking at the equities market this morning, and thereafter we also see what transpired in the fixed income and money market segment. For the equities market, we want to take a review of last week, because in the last 6 weeks, equities markets has been on downward for this almost 6 weeks, consecutive 6 weeks. We have been at a negative trend, but last week we had a turnaround, in spite of the fact that Wednesday happens to be a public holiday, Workers' Day. We had only 4 trading section last week, but at the end of the week, market still closed positive at 1.46%. So in terms of the turnover, if you look at the current rate of all share index, we are currently at 99,587.25 basis points. Our year-to-date return, we are still currently at 33.81%. That has also gone up a bit. And then in terms of turnover, during the course of last week, we had higher turnover than what the market did in the previous week. Last week, we had 1.94 billion shares, valued at 32.64 billion naira. And then in terms of comparison with the previous week, so it was higher because previous week markets had 1.893 billion units of shares, valued at 34.25 billion. Of course, in terms of value, last week, total transaction in the markets was lower than what we had in the previous week. But in terms of value drivers in our market, we still give that to the financial service firm. The financial service sector of the market contributed 77%, and then the consumer goods also contributed 7%, conglomerate 6%, and the others 10%. And in terms of sectoral performance under our coverage, we cover 5 indices, and 2 out of those indices closed positive. NGS Insurance closed positive, NGS Bank 9.42%, NGS Oil and Gas depreciated by 0.68%, NGS Industrial also depreciated by 0.36%, and the NGS Consumer also depreciated by 0.26% week on week. And then we also observed that in the course of the week, those depreciation we've seen in those major indices were because of the profit taking in some highly capitalized stock under that segment. In the case of banking sector, we could see renewed buying interest in banking sector. The Jais Bank of this world, the GTB, the UBA, the Access Bank, they all moved up. They contributed to the little expansion we have seen in the NGS banking industry index. And the same thing in insurance. We also saw the new interest in Sovereign Trust Insurance, Asa Massad Insurance, Prestige Assurance, and a few other insurance companies. That also contributed to 0.98% in the case of NGS Insurance. While oil and gas, we noticed some depreciation because of profit taking in a few other stocks in the under that indices. That's the oil and gas, the oil, Total, and Seplat. So there were people who were taking a profit, and the Seplat was also marked down for the dividends last week as well. Industrial as well, we could see profit taking in Beja Paint, Vitafoam. All these activities also contributed to the negative trend witnessed in those 3 other indices. That's NGS Consumer, NGS Industrial, and NGS Oil and Gas. But by the time we look at our month-to-date return, that for the month of May, we are currently at a 1.39%. Our quarter-to-date return has also gone up. The negative has gone down from minus 6.1% to minus 4.76% because of the appreciation market witnessed in the course of last week. And then we also observed that the top gainers are higher than the top losers. All those things together actually improve activities we have seen in our markets. And then throughout of last week, we could see strong participation in some highly and medium capitalized stocks, despite the fact that the central bank has also announced that 3 years period has been given to all the commercial banks to recapitalize. But all the banks, they've all come out with the action plan regarding how they are going to capitalize those banks. Those who want to go for the national banking license, international banking license, there are various options for them. Some will raise money through right issue, through public offering, private placements, merger and acquisition, and some will still downgrade. So we are just giving you that assurance that in terms of stability in the financial service firm, there's no cause for alarm. All our banks are strong, and they are also presented their action plan to the central bank, to the way and manner that they are going to capitalize in the next 2 years. And then that exercise is ongoing. We've also seen the first quarter results for the Q1 of 2024. It's been very impressive, in spite the fact that the economic has been very tough. We've seen inflation for the month of February at 33.20%. We've also seen the inflation for the month of March at going up. So we're also expecting inflation for the month of April. But the truth is that macroeconomic variable has been very tough across sectors. But all the companies, the listed companies, I think one way or the other, they have been able to find a way to navigate all these challenges. That is why it's turning out to be good for them in terms of profit we have seen across the banks. It's not only one bank. We have seen GTB, we have seen UB, we have seen Access Bank, we have seen Wema, the tier 1 bank, the tier 2 banks too. So it's across board. And we are also waiting to see results from other segments of the market, insurance, and then the other companies to come out so that at least it will give us a better outlook on the second quarter. But in terms of macroeconomic environment, we haven't seen any update currently, but we're also expecting that for the month, inflation for the month of April is also going to depreciate, even though because of the elevated yields, and central bank will also continue to use that opportunity, the policy parameters to moderate the inflation. That is a concern. It's still the big elephant in the house. So, but the central bank, they are meeting on the 20th of May, 20th of May of this month. We're also expecting them to take some action plan to find a way of bringing down the inflation, which is a concern of every investors in our capital market. So by the time that figures comes out, it will also give us some relief, and we also see the action plan. But in terms of the outlook for the market is also going to have a better outlook. We've seen review of the GDP growth rates by the IMF, by the World Bank. In fact, one also came out on Friday from the Fitch rating, from the stable to the positive. All these variables, there's no way they will not impact or serve as a catalyst for our equities markets. So we will continue to monitor the CBN in the area of the policy parameter for the month of May when they meet on 28th. So in terms of analyzing these dividend yields, we have also updated our slide. You could see that as at last week, Access Bank was trading around 16.60 kobo. It's one part of our recommendation. We recommended buy. So, and then it closed on Friday, 17.40 kobo. So look at GTB. GTB was adjusted for the price last week. So at the price of adjustment, it was around 32 naira, but the bank has also gone to 38 naira. It's also XT, that's almost 5 naira. It's also our buy recommendation. Don't also forget that the previous slide for the last week, we recommended GTB as buy. The same is Stanbic Bank. The same thing UBA. UBA is still come deep, you can still buy. Zenith Bank has also gone up. UCAP has also gone up. Flamil has also gone up. Unilever has also gone up. If you look at all these slides, almost all these companies have also gone up. The same thing Presco and then Okomo. If you check our recommendation in the last 2-3 quarters, we've always been including Presco and Okomo. But to our surprise to the market, Okomo declared 24.30 kobo. That's quite massive, despite the fact that the segment they're also operating is also very tough because of inflation. But look at the price, it has gone from 209 naira to almost to 252 naira in the last 3-4 trading section of last week. So it's also a buy recommendation. You can still take position. It's still come deep. Mayer and Baker is still come deep. Asa Massad is still, we are expecting their result. For Sodium, we are also expecting their result. Total has been marked, but the company is still trading below the valuation. So it's still a good buy. So all these recommendations, you will see them across insurance, industrial, banking, and the agriculture. So they are most of local and institutional investors. You can take position. And this week, we're expecting more rally in the banking industry because the result that has been sent to the market is a strong signal that you are likely to see strong position taking in the tier 1 banks. And if you tier 2 banks have actually impressed the market with their performance. And this is also, their expectation is even above what the market is expecting, because for the first time, we are seeing results coming out very, very, very strong. So these are recommendations. Another recommendation has been set out to us by our research unit. You can check other recommendations. And in terms of corporate action, price adjustment, so all these companies have been adjusted last week. Fidelity Bank has been adjusted, is now ex-div. So Seplat has also been adjusted, is now ex-div. By the time you convert what they declare in dividends term, that's almost 78 naira to 60 kobo. Fidelity Bank declares 60 kobo, and then GTCO has been marked, and the markdown of GTB, it was marked at 32 naira 80 kobo, and within that period, the bank has also gone to 38 naira. You could see that the impact of the good performance released to the market is now reflecting in the price, as we have always been advising you that take position in fundamentally sound stock and with good performance and with good track record. Unilever has been adjusted, Beka has been adjusted. If you are taking position in any of these companies, you are buying XZ. You are not going to get the dividends. And then Presco, these are also the corporate actions for the week. In the course of last week, Presco declared 24 naira 30 kobo, and the qualification day is May 30th, and then the payment day is also 6th of June, and then the first registrar is the registrar. FCMB, second tier bank, second category of the commercial banks. They also declared 50 kobo, and then the qualification day is May 13th. Payment day is also 24th of May. The cardinal is the registrar. So you can also take position in these two companies with their registrars. In terms of expectation, during the course of this week, we expect bullish to dominate the equities market in the presence of strong catalysts. We have seen a catalyst. The result that has been released to the market across all the figures, they will serve as a catalyst this week. Then we are also expecting that to move the prices of those banking stocks, the tier 1 bank and a few other tier 2 banks. So we expect to see high volume trading in those banks, the UBA of this world, the GTB, Access Bank, and Zenith Bank, and a few other banks, that their result has also met market expectation. So because of the Q1 performance, they will serve as a catalyst in our equities market this week. So, and then we also expect market to close on a positive trend week on week because of the new bank interest. Not only the banking stock, but other stocks that are also trading below their value. You see people taking position other than the banking stock. We've seen what happened to the Seplat, and we're also expecting other corporate action to also flow into the market. And then what should be, we expect all share index to also move to the green zone this week. And the action for us as an investor, we should take advantage of the current market prices to cherry pick fundamentally sound stock and need capital combination to build our portfolio and to also grow our weights. And there's one thing I also use to cap this report, this review, this equities market report. Don't also forget that the central bank has also approved proposal from the banks that they can pay dividends from their reserve and from their retained earnings, because they were exempted from using reserve and retained earnings to utilize either for international banking license or other categories they want to belong to. Meaning that in the second quarter, this Q2, we are likely to see renewed interest in the banking stock in anticipation and strong expectation of the half-year result, especially for those banks that used to declare interim dividends of 50 kobo, 30 kobo, 60 kobo. We are likely to see banks paying higher than what they used to pay with their performance. So if you are considering the banking stock, we can also factor those banks that usually declare interim dividends, the UPA of this world, the Access Bank, the GTB, and Zenith Bank. So by the time they work on the CBN proposal, I think they will be able to declare, and then that will also improve activities in our market. So thank you very much. This is the time for the fixed income and money markets report. Good morning, everyone.
Okay, good morning. Very quickly because of our time, we'll just brush through the fixed income market activities for last week. Quickly for the interbank rates, as expected or as anticipated last week, due to an improvement in the liquidity in the markets, we saw that the rates eased out as it closed lower by 400 basis points and 416 basis points respectively. And the major factors that led to this was we saw last week there was an OMO repayment and then the bond payment on the urgent bonds. When they came into the system, they they eased the liquidity in the system, and at the end of the week, system liquidity closed at positive 19 billion. Treasury bills market, with the liquidity we saw last week, we saw some improved demand on the auction towards the end of the week. The coupon payment was made on Thursday, so post coupon payment, we saw that on Thursday, Friday, the market actually closed very bearish because we saw improved activities, particularly on the buy side, and that led to the average yields in the market advancing by 24 basis points to close at 22.37 at the close of the week. The secondary market, the almost secondary market also closed bearish, as we saw yields on that aspect of the market also increased by another 10 basis points to close at 18.89. And this week there's an NTB auction, and there's something that has been consistent, that has been constant for the past 3 to 4 auctions, and that is that rates are beginning to decline. And this cannot be overemphasized. Now is the best time to take positions, particularly in the fixed income space. As we've seen, like my colleague had rightly mentioned, the equities market is beginning to pick momentum, and as such, you start seeing investors moving to that side of the market. Because as a rational investor, what you're looking for is the maximum return you can get from the market. So now that rates are still very attractive, yields are still at an elevated level, now is the best time to take advantage. And for those that have actually yielded, that are taking all this advice being given, I'm sure they can testify to the benefits they've reaped from the market. So the bonds market, last week we saw that the DMO released a revised calendar for Q2 2024, and in the revised calendar, a new bond is going to be at the auction in May's auction. That's the 2033, which replaced the 2034. So that tweak we saw in the calendar actually propelled some buy interest, particularly on the 2034, simply because investors know that since this bond is no longer going to be on auction, interest will move away from it to other bonds. So now is the time for me to buy, so that by the time the yield start declining, I can exit and take profits. So we saw that major activity last week, trigger a number of interest in the market for the week. And at the end of the week, the market actually closed bullish, as the average yields across the curve declined by 12 basis points to close at 18.84. It's also worthy to note that by next week, Monday, the bond auction is actually going to be taking place. So quickly, the foreign exchange market, because of our time, we just rush through the key points and where clients are expected to take our positions. This is the second consecutive week where we've seen that the foreign exchange market has continued to depreciate. At the close of last week, at the NAFEX window, we saw that the Naira depreciated by another 457 basis points to close at 1,400. And across the various contracts, forward contracts, we saw similar trend at that end of the market, where on the 1 month, Naira depreciated by 429, 2 months, 409 basis points, 3 months, 387, 6 months, 349, and then 1 year, 323. What has been the major result, the major action for this, or the major catalyst for this recent depreciation that we've seen in the market is actually demand. We've seen renewed demand in the market, and as such, because demand has increased and supply is not adequate, we've seen that actually led to further depreciation of the market. We hope that the CBN will still continue to do their best in order to keep rates stable, because for any investor, for us to be able to plan adequately, we need a very stable FX market. So we hope that this week we should see some form of moderation. And also, I think during the course of last week, we saw that the National Petroleum Upstream Commission also released production capacity for the month of April, and which was not actually good. We did just barely 1.3 million barrels per day. That was including condensates. So a lot of action needs to be taken, especially in the major source of our FX revenue, which includes the crude oil production and also issues surrounding insecurity in the market. So quickly this week, we'll be looking at our expectation. What do we expect to happen in the market this week? I mentioned that there's an NTB auction on Wednesday. Investors are clients that are taking advantage of the previous auction. They can testify to the good rates that they've gotten, and then for clients that are also investing in their various products because of the inability to go for the auction, they've leveraged on the various products that we have. the fixed income products, which actually strictly for fixed income. So we've seen clients actually bringing their funds into these products to know, since they know that the funds actually invest in some of all these elevated instruments, they bring in their funds into the various products that we have to also take advantage of the openings or the opportunities in the market. So the week is still here, is right ahead of us. Now is the time to make those decisions. For salary earners, they were just paid last week. Now is the time to part way with a proportion of your income in order to enjoy the benefits in the market. And one key thing is when rates are very high, the whole objective of increasing rates in the market by the CBN is to encourage investment. So now that rates are high, it's just a call for us to invest in all the various opportunities that we have in the market. The stock market is beginning to peak as well. The Lead Balance Fund is also there. You can enjoy the benefit of the equities market and also the benefit of the fixed income market. That's 2-in-1. So for clients that are also looking at this space to invest in, these products are there for you to take advantage of. So if there are questions at this point, you would like to know how to invest in all of these products, or probably the equity space, you have any questions regarding that, now is the time for you to ask your questions. So the floor is open for questions. If you have questions, please, you can indicate by raise of hand by using the chat icon. Okay, we have a question here. What should equities market outlook? Okay, what should be the equities market outlook for Q4 2020? Sorry, Q2 2024.
Okay, thank you. Just as I've said in that presentation, it's going to be positive because we've seen that the results that are coming into the market, especially for the banks, they are quite impressive. So you are likely to see another movement to that segment of the market. And when people take position in some of those companies with good report, with good performance, it's going to improve all share index, and then the market capitalization will also go up. So, and then with that, we are expecting second quarter outlook for our equities market to look good and to be positive.
Okay, thank you. If you have questions, you can either type them in the chat box or you indicate okay, we have a hand up. You've been unmuted. You can now unmute your mic and ask a question, sir.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir.
I can hear you. Good morning, sir.
Okay, what was your assessment of Chams as a company? Is it a good company to invest in?
Okay, thank you, sir. I think sometimes ago, this issue also came up. And for now, we haven't seen their audited results, but we got information at a point in time that the company is also planning to raise money. Of course, we attended one of their presentation that's quite behind the figures sometime last year. And they are also planning to raise money and expand. But for now, once their final year result for 2023 is out, that is when we can do the valuation. When we do the valuation, we compare the current market value with the valuation of the company, and thereafter we can give you an advice. But without having access to those financials, there's no way we can give you an advice, whether you buy, you would, or you sell.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Now is the time to ask questions. The chat box, you can explore the option of the chat box by typing out your questions there, or you can indicate by raise of hand. I think we have a question. Okay, good morning. What is your take on the proposed share reconstruction of Transcorp PLC?
Okay, I think the news came out last week Friday that they are going to do reverse stock split, meaning that they want to reduce the size. They want to cancel 3 units of shares in every 4 you are holding. So what we are seeing in the market is not a good idea. It's not a bad idea because what they are planning is to reduce the outstanding shares. Currently, Transcorp PLC has over 40 billion outstanding shares, and they want to reduce it. They want to cancel 3. After that reconstruction, we'll be having over 10 billion. And we believe it's going to improve their earnings. Because we have seen about 3 or 4 companies in our market that they've taken this route and it pays them. A typical example is Asa Merchant Insurance, Multiverse, and then we have also seen Wema Bank. So there was a time when my bank was trading around 1 naira 50 kobo, but now the price has gone to almost 8 naira. When you reduce outstanding shares, it will only affect the outstanding shares, but it will not affect the value. The value of the company will still remain the same. That is in terms of market capitalization. But it turned out to be very good in the medium long term, because the company will be able to declare better results and better earnings since they're having reduced outstanding shares. So that's what they are planning to do. If they cancel 3, we're going to have over 10 billion as outstanding shares, and then the price of the stock will also move to around 56 or 57 naira. So it's going to pay the investor over time. So there's no cost to sell. People shouldn't react to that news.
Okay, thank you. We have another hand up. Dr. Johnson, your mic has been enabled. You can unmute and ask your question, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much for this beautiful presentation. Please, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, please, I'm just interested in some of these your products, like you have lead dollar fund and so on and so forth. Please, what are the interest rates, and how can one key into this opportunity? Thank you so much for the presentation.
All right, so thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. So after this meeting, a member of our team will reach out to you, to provide more clarity and to provide the necessary parameters of the fund and how you can go about with investing in those funds. And for the benefit of all other clients on this call, if you're interested in any of these products, you can always reach out to us or send us an email, and we'll be more than happy to provide guidance and clarity where needed, sir.
Thank you very much. Can we get this presentation? Is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You will. After each meeting, it's always circulated, so you get it at the end of today's meeting, sir. We have other questions. Okay. We are between Geregu and Transcorp Power. What will be your take?
Okay, thank you. On the Geregu and Transcorp Power, Transcorp Power, they just listed the company. We are still monitoring their performance. Of course, they have declared 3 naira 30 kobo dividends. But Geregu was listed about 2 years ago. So what would determine whether it's a good investment or not is to look at the valuation. Valuation is also very important. That will give you an idea whether this stock is overvalued or undervalued. So for Transcorp now, we want to see what will happen. We are expecting more performance from Transcorp. By the time we say their next 2 quarter results, we'll be able to determine. But for now, for Geregu, I think Geregu is overpriced from the valuation around the current market price. So,
all right, thank you. I have Access Bank shares, but I don't know how to go about getting my dividend. I have not gotten any payment since I bought the shares. I don't know the registrar to contact.
Okay, please, can you just send us your number? Our registrar's team will reach out to you. They will tell you what to do to recover it, but it's not lost.
Yeah, so after this meeting, you can send us an email, or you can send us an email or put a call close to us, and we would provide guidance on how to reclaim your dividend. All right. Okay. What would you advise investors in the Nigerian stock market with the current losses in the market? What do you think the meltdown? When do you think the meltdown will stop?
We are beginning to see improvement in the market. What will usually serve as a catalyst is the result. We have seen results from the banking sector, so you will see renewed interest. So when results from other sectors are also coming into the market, you also see renewed interest. But the truth is that when prices are down, is a buying period. You take advantage because the prices will still go back to the original position once the valuation favors the company.
Yes, thank you. What is your reaction to NEM having its price constant for a period of time?
Well, I think it's about valuation. If you look at the valuation, or in our recommendation, we say sell because the price is currently trading above the valuation. So, and then usually advise that when stock is trading above the valuation, it's either you hold or you sell. So there are several sellers on the market with fewer demands.
Okay.
When the price moderates to the valuation, you see renewed interest in that company.
All right, thank you. And our final question for this morning will be: why is the accounting method used by GT Bank different from others, increasing the earnings per share by about 1,000%?
I think we've not been. I won't be able to give more clarity on that because the result came out on Friday. At our in-house financial something, we also research team. We also X-ray the report. We compare with other banks, and then we'll be able to give advice why they have taken that part.
All right, so thank you so much. With this, we come to the end of our session this morning. We thank each and every one of you for the interaction, for your questions, and for attending the session. We wish you all a blessed week ahead. Thank you so much. And for those who are unable to answer their questions, we apologize. It's strictly because of the timing. You can send us an email after this session, and we'll be happy to provide answers and clarity where needed. Thank you once again.